Hey, what's up, guys? So, I finally figured out how to get this going on my laptop, and I need to shut the sound off on that so I don't hear myself. Just had to test the poof, I'm here. Just had to test the audio. How's everybody doing tonight? Daniel, yeah, it took me a little while to get it figured out how to do all this with my laptop, and what I looks like the usual suspects are here. Yep. Um, there's quite a learning curve with setting up a live stream on my laptop so that I had a little better better picture, better quality. Hopefully it doesn't lag as much as with my phone, because with my phone it tries to shoot it in either 1080p or 720p. With my laptop I can reduce it down so it's a little better, so it's at 480p. And for those of you guys who stopped in last night, that was me testing stuff out and completely didn't realize I had had it on public instead of private. So good, good. I like it. I'm glad it's looking better, sounding better. Audio sounds okay. Fox Attack, nice beard. You should have seen it a couple months ago. Still fighting my cold too, of course. It's almost gone. What kind of laptop? It's an HP Pavilion. Can't remember what the 17-inch, got a quad-core AMD processor, all the good stuff. Wish it had a little better webcam on it, but it's not terrible. Of course, so it has the microphone, has the webcam on it. So that's the reason I got this one, is so that I could do stuff like this. So. Alright, sounds like everything's good. We got 16 people on here right now. Hit that thumbs up for me, guys. Penn Woodsman, yeah, webcam is a little lacking. I tried to do a Droid cam and use my phone as a webcam, and it was even more lagging in the video because it had to bounce off my router, and it was too much lag. So I'll just go with the laptop. It's good enough. It looks better than all that pixelated stuff that I had going on when I was just using my phone. So Samsung USB condenser mic. Oh. Yeah, I think the audio is probably good enough for a live stream. Maybe I might look into something like that for shooting videos, especially like when I go out to the woods for the bug out camp. Especially, that would be nice to have microphone. That way, I have a little better audio for that. So, just out of curiosity, I wanted to make a little announcement on here. For those of you guys who don't know, I do vape, and so I've been looking for more ways that I can kind of reach out and help people, and I struggled with quitting smoking for a lot of years, and I started vaping. So for any of you guys that are vapors, if you're interested into vaping, if you want to quit smoking, that's something big that I think preppers need to do, is quit smoking and get some more exercise. That's something else that I have lacked on, but at least quit smoking, get off of some of the addictions. Another thing that vaping is good for that I've found is getting off of sugar and high fructose corn syrup, that kind of stuff, because the flavor in this one right now is kind of like a hot fudge sundae. So it tastes pretty good. Oh, shut off, dumbass. Let's try that again. So anyhow, I have another channel called CP Vapes, and I'm pretty sure I put the link in the description box. I'm going to scroll down and make sure. Yes, I did. CP Vapes. The link is in the description. So if any of you guys are interested in that, go take a look at it. Vaping nicotine is illegal. That sucks. Tried recording guitar on the laptop mic and it sounded like an echo chamber. Yeah. Smoking Locust. Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate the super chats, guys, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting some of the super chat money, or pretty much all of it, because our ad revenue is almost gone. My channel went from making about $175, $200 a month to this month I'll be lucky if I clear $60. So, and last month I think I cleared 72, I think it was. And the month before that about 50. So it's been pretty horrible. So the super chat money really helps keep the channel alive, and I'm gonna put some more money into equipment for doing live streams, because this is fun. I think this is more fun than shooting videos and replying to comments, because I can talk to you guys in real time. So it's just a lot more fun for me, and hopefully it's more fun for you guys too. And people can still go out and watch the video afterwards too. So that's kind of nice. Because after the live stream ends, YouTube just goes ahead and processes it and puts it in with the rest of your videos. So that's really nice. And now that I figured out how to do events, people can get a little bit of notice that I'm going to be doing this. So Chris Tanner just did a vid on addiction problems. Jimmy, yeah, absolutely. And that's part of what stimulated that in my brain, is that part of prepping is making sure that you're going to keep your sanity, not completely lose your cool under stressful situations. And if you are still hooked on cigarettes especially, I know how hard it is to get off of those things. I quit back when I was going through chemotherapy and radiation and all that stuff. And, a few years later, I picked them up again and got back off of them. It was one of those, I tried everything under the book and nothing helped except vaping. And I've been on and off vaping for several times too. So it finally stuck. I had to get some advice from people because I was doing everything wrong. I was starting off with one of those little cartridge things that you get no vapor out of. They're not satisfying at all. I tried leaving my cigarettes home one day and just taking the vape pen with me, thinking I'll force myself to like it, and no, I was just a raging asshole all day. So it just didn't work for me. I ended up having to go get a pack of cigarettes to just chill myself out. It's that bad. So, like I said, getting off addictions is really, really important, and that's why Chris did that video, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. I actually think getting off sugar is harder than cigarettes. The reason I say cigarettes and not just nicotine is because cigarettes have just hundreds of nasty chemicals in them that are more addictive than nicotine itself. So you still, even if you start vaping, you still have problems with, the cravings, wanting an actual cigarette because all the other crap that your body's used to that it wants. So anyhow, that's why I started that other channel, is to kind of help people, with maybe some tips, things that I learned along the way. Because when I was researching this stuff and trying to switch over to vaping, I couldn't find a whole lot of information that was very helpful. Everybody was doing all the big cloud chasing crap that I'm just not really into. Didn't help me at all. And you know, I think a beginner's perspective could help a lot of people. So there you go. Which day? My ex lives in. $30? Wow, that'd make you quit. All right, so got 17 people watching so far. I suppose my cousin was telling me that the e-cigarette, you breathe in metal from the hot wire. That's not possible, man. It's just a coil wire, and most of them are stainless steel. So smoking ape, yeah, I really don't have a problem with. I don't really care for cigars myself. NICAD, nickel, cadmium, or something like that. NICAD. Uh, some of them have that kind of steel or for a wire in them. That won't flake off either. So, greetings from Idaho. Hey, Jeff. I hope everything is still fluid, even though it's buffering on me. Looks like everything's fine on this end. So, anyhow, today's topic, realistic shit hit the fan scenarios, and that we've already been talking about one of them, cancer. Had cancer in 2008, 3 days after my birthday. That was one hell of a birthday present, finding out you have Hodgkin's lymphoma is what I had. That is a realistic shit hit the fan scenario because it turns your whole world upside down. But that's a personal shit hit the fan situation. Nothing like local or nationwide or anything like that. But I still consider that a shit hit the fan personally because, like I said, it turns your whole world upside down. You're out of a job, basically. I was actually told that I would be on disability the rest of my life, and I decided to start my own business and keep going instead and do it on my own terms instead of relying on the government. But that's just kind of the prepper in me, the self-sufficient kind of guy I try to be anyway. So, things like that, a major injury can be a personal shit hit the fan situation. But I consider it doesn't have to be martial law. It doesn't have to be World War III, which is very possible. That's going to be a major shit hit the fan situation. And that would actually probably bring back a lot of manufacturing to this country, like World War II did. But, you never know. So they have, I know my brother-in-law works for a company that makes stuff for the government, for the military, and he's not allowed to say anything about it. So I don't know anything about it myself other than it's for the military and he can't tell me anything. So that means it's, must be pretty important. So um, it's things like that, World War III. It could make the economy thrive, but it also could make things go all to hell. I mean, the economy could collapse along with it. That was part of World War II as well. I don't know. Is anybody really well knowledged in World War II and how it coincided with the Great Depression? Which started first is kind of what I'm curious. I'm worried about power outages the next couple of weeks. We had 2 power outages this year, and they didn't last very long. But when I was a kid, it was like late 80s, early 90s, I think maybe 91, if I remember right. There was a huge ice storm, and it knocked out power for about a week. And there were a lot of people that were very cold, very hungry, had no food, no water, their pipes all froze, That's a shit hit the fan situation in itself because, it's grid down. And when it's that cold, your water doesn't even work. So then people were trying to purify our water and, things. It was a mess. So they ended up having to, go to another town on icy roads and bring water home because they didn't stock up on water. And but my family, we grew up as preppers. So we always had stuff like that, even though my dad kind of had the house was set up so that we were good no matter the situation, or pretty much anyway. We had an old floor furnace that had a pilot light on it, so you didn't have to worry about like the furnaces nowadays. Most of them have an electric igniter and they have an electric blower motor on them. So if the power goes out, you're out of heat. We also had kerosene heater that we kept in the basement just to supplement the heat when it got really, really cold. Our water heater was natural gas, so we still had hot water no matter what. Things like that. Or we were out of electricity, but we had things to keep ourselves occupied. I was into building model cars and stuff like that back then. So that's another thing you got to think about. Something that Staff Sergeant Badass was talking about on his live stream. I just got done watching that before I came out here. About dealing with kids during a shit the fan situation. Got to keep them kids entertained. So having solar panels, even if it's just like the Anchor fold up solar panels, so that you can keep tablets charged up and things like that. Extra batteries, rechargeable batteries, so that you can use the solar panel to recharge those batteries. Great Depression started late 20s. Yeah, it was actually like 29. Well, World War II got America out of the Great Depression. That's very likely. We heated with wood and coal. Life was a big prep. Yep. Penn Woodsman, you're right on there. We had a wood stove in the first house that my family lived in as I was a kid, but it was before I have any memory of it, really. So, I only remember the house that, I grew up in as a teenager. My dad still lives there and everything. But, yeah, everything was set up. So when that big ice storm hit, we were good. We had hot water. We could take a hot shower. Could still cook food because our stove was... Step one, survival. Yeah, absolutely. Staff Sergeant Badass, you are spot on, brother. Get a frickin' generator before shit hits the fan, before the big storm hits. That's what prepping is all about, doing things ahead of time. I remember when that big storm hit, that big ice storm hit. I remember, I don't know how many people went out and bought generators, and every store that a person could get to on those icy roads ran out of them, at a very fast rate. So our crew productions. Well, thanks for stopping by, man. Seems like during the 80s and 90s there were a lot more brownout and blackout around here too. Power grid seems a lot more resilient now. Well, they did do some infrastructure upgrades on the power grid. Probably early 2000s, maybe late 90s. Can't remember for sure. But Oily's Humble Home, aka the Oily Prepper. You guys should go check out her channel if you haven't seen it already. She has some pretty cool videos. She's a great gal. Look on Craigslist. That is a good place to look for, especially in the summertime or maybe the spring, for generators, because people like buy them over winter if there's a power outage or something, and they turn around and sell it because they don't think they need it anymore. But that's just ignorant, dumb. How are those Harbor Freight generators? I don't know. I have never really looked into them that much. Watch your PO box next week. Oh. The Harbor Freight generators. No, I've never really looked into those, man. What's your thoughts on hungry neighbors who laugh at you now? Well, Oily, hey, thank you very much. That really, really helps out, guys. You know, this genre is gonna basically die if if it weren't for you guys doing super chats. The channels on this in this genre are a lot of them are gonna die off. So it's very, very much appreciated. So, on to that question. What's your thoughts on hungry neighbors who laugh at you now? Well, I don't really broadcast to my neighbors. There's one neighbor that knows I'm a prepper, and that's only because he is an ex-Marine and a prepper himself. So, that's the only. I don't tell hardly anybody. My family knows. My dad knows, especially. My dad watches my channel. He watches Staff Sergeant Badass too. And a couple others, but yeah, I mean, he's known about it his whole life. He grew up that way. I mean, his parents, well, especially his great grandparents, lived through the Depression. His parents were kids during the Depression, so they kind of got a little bit of a taste of it more after it happened. But it took a long time for everybody to start feeling the relief of the Great Depression being over. Things weren't just like, hey, overnight on this day, everything's fine. It doesn't work like that. So it took a long time for like the small towns, rural areas, out in the country, out in the sticks, people that live like I do. It took a while for them to start feeling it. But also back then, they didn't feel it as hard as people that lived in the city, because people that live out like where I do, small towns, you can grow your own garden, you can have chickens, things like that. Back then, they produced a lot of their own food, so they didn't have to worry about it quite as bad. Country Living and Angry Prepper ended their channels. That's a shame. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are just leaving. There's just no money anymore. Like I said, my channel went from making like 175 to 200 bucks a month, which almost, pretty much paid my truck payment, my old ass truck, to like this month I'll be doing good to make 60 bucks. So, on ad revenue. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't get paid this month. So, the super chats are just amazing. They're going to keep our channels alive. So, Angry Prepper's gone. Yeah. I wondered why I haven't seen any videos from him. Gotta go. We'd be stopped. What is that? Midtown Outdoors? Like TN Outdoors? Or is that Mid Tennessee? 75% ad revenue gone. Yeah, it's bad. I hope it gets better, John. It's been pretty bad. I'm pretty sure your channel got hit bad too. Well, you don't do things quite as well. You talk about prepping quite a bit. I wish I could comment on your channel more. Team AG super chats. Read the description, man. Very important to always read the description of a video. There's usually a tidbit of information in the description that people are going to talk about in the video. That it's kind of like reading the preface of a book before you read the book. So it just kind of helps you get the information better. Is it just the prepper community? No. It's basically everybody across the board except for the mainstream channels. Mainstream channels are doing just fine. I see an ad on every one of them. I was listening to some music on YouTube, and I was getting an ad on every other video. So the mainstream stuff is still doing great. They are... that's basically what YouTube is doing, is they're trying to go mainstream. They brought out YouTube TV, and they want big networks. They want shows on here, kind of like Netflix has. I mean, $60, Wingman. Wow, that's bad for a channel your size of yours. I mean, how many subs are you at now, man? John? $1.5 billion? That doesn't surprise me at all. Daniel, hey, thanks for stopping by. I'll probably be on here a while, so if you get done feeding the ducks, come on back. See, I enjoy getting on here and just talking about whatever you guys are talking about in the chat room. I always lose my focus and don't talk about the topic of the video. So, just for the sake of talking about the actual topic of the video, what are some other realistic shit hit the fan scenarios? I know everybody's gonna say something. Somebody's gonna say something. 29,000? Yeah, I thought you were around 30,000, so I thought you were getting close anyway. I need to do that. But it's buffering on me again. Is it buffering on you guys as often as it is for me, or is that just my internet connection? NBC Preps? Don't know who that is, Iron Witch. Or don't know what that is. But anyhow, I know somebody's going to ask about North Korea and, possibility of World War III. With all the stuff that's going on with Russia, Somalia, Syria, Sudan, Libya, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq. What's some of the other ones? We're basically fighting everybody already except for China and South America, maybe, and Australia. So I know the UK, we're cool with them so far, but somebody's going to screw that up too. So nuclear, biological, chemical. Oh, I'm not too terribly worried about that where I live, but nuclear. That's one thing I am worried about with North Korea is they're trying their ass off, and if they ever do succeed, goodbye California. Alien occupation, smoking ape. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that one. You ever thought about smoking ape? Here's just something, just completely off the cuff, but have you ever considered if aliens did ever land here and try to communicate with us? Do you think we'd be able to understand them? Or would it be like, if they have the technology to get here from light years away, thousands of light years away, then they're obviously a lot smarter than us. Our DNA is only like, 3% different from chimpanzees. So what if, and Neil deGrasse Tyson is where I got this from. But, what if they were just 3% smarter than us? Chimpanzees can do what our toddlers can do. So if they're 3% smarter than us, that's huge. Or they're going to be on a completely different level than us. We're not even going to be able to talk to them. I did not know that. And, I'm not sure what all else, but I know that was the intent behind it. Buffering big time. It's buffering on me too. Connection acting up again. Damn it. It says I have full tower. It's probably one of my kids getting on the same, I have a dual band router. They're supposed to be using a different band than I am. It's the last prep you ever want to use, but the critical one in today's times. You got it right there, Iron Witch. I think somehow they would. You never know, Smoking Ape. Great Lakes Prepper. foreign entity hacking into our power grid seems more likely than a random nuclear bombing. That is very true. I mean, they're already hacking our several companies. I will have to look into that. Repeater. Fiber optic, that would be awesome, man. I don't see it happening, but... Alright, are we still on? Hopefully that's a little better. See, I was trying to use my phone as like a Wi-Fi repeater, just using, had it hooked up to the Wi-Fi and then Wi-Fi hotspot, and I thought it would work better. So is it working? Awesome. Hopefully it works a little better now. I thought that would be a better connection, but apparently not. Carlos, how's it going, man? Hey, it seems like things are working a little faster now. Not as much lag, too. You suggested before that you only have wireless, you have no cable coming into your... Well, what it is, Matt, our town has a tower, and everybody that has internet has a, kind of like a receiver on the side of their house. And so that goes into the, internet gateway and then to our router, and then our router broadcasts. So now I'm connected direct to the router. So hopefully that comes in a little bit better. Wow, oily. Well, you let everyone know I have a preppers powwow chat on Thursdays, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 8 p.m. Central. Oily Prepper, or Oily's Humble Home now, has a chat, a preppers powwow chat on Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. So go check that out, guys. Operation Gotham Shield, I don't know anything about it. Brother, I'm sorry. I will look into it, and maybe we'll talk about that in the next live stream, which will be Wednesday, and then I'm going to have to take like a week off, guys. Getting those wisdom teeth pulled, or that wisdom tooth and the molar in front of it pulled, and so, yeah, I'm not going to be able to talk right for at least probably a week, so probably won't have any... Hope they can run some cable out there, some... Can't beat cable and fiber for stable internet. Yeah, I actually have a, let's see, like a 300-foot roll of Ethernet cord, Cat 6 Ethernet cord, that I can, there's a conduit coming out here to the garage, and I can run an Ethernet cable out here. So I need time to get it done. That's the main thing, which is something I have very little of. So I'll get it done one of these days, but until then, hopefully we can get by with the Wi-Fi. Otherwise, I'm going to set up a studio in my basement, because they're not using the basement for anything else. So that might be a better option. But then you guys don't get to see all the knives and stuff. So, then... I don't know. I just think having all the knives and gear and backpacks and stuff is a cool backdrop. Maybe I'll have to do a green screen, take a picture of this backdrop and put it on a green screen behind me. What do you think there? Hey, the subs are coming in, Oily. That's awesome. I need to get over there. I still haven't done that. I'm going to do it right now. If I can, without moving too much stuff around. Oh, no, it's not going to let me. Go to channel. I am just going to sub you right now, Oily Prepper. Come on. There it is. And I got the bell. Make sure you click the bell, guys. There we go. We're all set. I've moved the computer around enough now. Oh, gotta click off of that. What I do for a living, tell me what you need. I'll send it to you, CP. I don't think I really need anything. I have the Cat 6 cable. I have the connectors. I have the. That's what I went to college for. Is computer repair and network technology. So I have the Cat 6 cable. I have the ends for it. I have the tool to do it. I just need time. Can you give me some of your time? I don't have enough. Is hung up for me, huh? So anyhow, Iron Witch, as the Gotham thing, I will look into it. I will research it, and Bizza, how's it going, brother? So anyhow, I will look up that Operation Gotham or whatever you called it earlier. I'll have to look that up and do some research on it, and then hopefully Wednesday we'll be able to talk about it in the live chat. So I will schedule that and give you guys plenty of notice on it. So, hey, John, thank you for stopping by, man. So, I'm sure I missed plenty of suggestions for realistic shit hit the fan scenarios. Massive nuclear drill over New York. Huh. Okay, Operation Gotham Shield, that's what it was. I will look that up. What was your question again, Matt? Oh, you suggested before that you only have one. Oh, nope. I don't think that was the question. So, back to the topic at hand. It's a big bad nuclear detonation drill to test how people react to a major EMP blackout. There have been EMPs, but it was from a sun flare. Canada got hit with one years ago. I think was it back in the 80s? I don't remember for sure, but it can happen at any time. It just depends on what the sun. But it's a little more likely for another country to cause it because of all the conflict that we have going on, and we world and we're trying. We help all kinds of people, but most of the rest of the world consider us the bad guys because we're always messing with everybody's business. So we're not well liked everywhere in the country anymore, or everywhere in the world anymore, I should say. So solar activity is up for a few days. Yeah, there was a channel, can't remember the lady's name, that I used to watch. She used to do during the day, activity, just all kinds of stuff. She'd make a video about every single thing instead of just making one video for all of them. So it was clogging up my newsfeed, so I unsubscribed from her, but that was helpful. I actually have an app for that, and see if I can find it on my phone. I think it's still on here. Alert 5. See that one, guys? Alert 5. That is a good app to have for a prepper to have. So, solar activities is outrageous. That's good. Yeah. Simply, the dollar takes a dump and hyperinflation plunges the economy into the toilet. That's a reasonable shit hit the fan. Absolutely, and I think that's the most likely shit hit the fan scenario, especially something that's nationwide, something that affects all of us, except for the ultra rich. It does affect them, but they're still going to eat. So yeah, that app, that Alert 5 app, will alert you anytime there's seismic activity, solar flares, things like that. You can set it up for alerts for a lot of different things. So that's a good app to have. called the Disaster Prediction app. That would be nice. I'll have to look into that one. Pandemic, that's another one. Yeah, there's some people don't believe in evolution, but viruses evolve every year. So they evolve all the time. They keep getting stronger, and I mean, it's a single-celled organism, so it can evolve faster. It doesn't turn into, it actually does turn into something similar, but stronger. So that's one thing. Sausage party? No, there's a bunch of girls here. Pokeballs. Hopefully you're not a troll. So, smoking ate bird flu. That was something they were really worried about for a while, but flat Earth, no. Don't be retarded, please. Bacteria, yeah, bacteria, viruses, yeah, they all evolve very, very fast. So that is something you have to worry about because we're becoming very antibiotic resistant because what they put most of the meat that we eat is factory farmed. So chickens, pigs, cattle, they all live in very close proximity to each other. So they have to put antibiotics and hormones and stuff in their feed in order to keep them from getting sick. So they don't lose the animals and then they lose their profits. It's all about profits, don't you know? It's not about making a good product or making a healthy product for the people that are going to consume it. It's all about making money. So it doesn't matter what it does to the animals, doesn't matter what it does to the people that eat it. It's all about their bottom dollar. So I don't buy from companies like that. I buy local stuff, and that's something that I cannot suggest more to preppers is buy local. I know where the chickens that we eat come from. I know what they eat. The beef that we get, local farmer. I know what they eat. Pigs, same thing. And anything else. Our friends, we get eggs from our friends that raise chickens. Just all kinds of stuff like that. We can almost all of our own vegetables and fruit, stuff like that. I don't eat a whole lot of fruit. I should, but I'm more of a meat and veggies guy. Just not big on fruit. But anyway, but we have 2 apple trees, a peach tree, and a pear tree. So Agenda 21 and 2030. I kind of missed what everybody was talking about. Oh, pandemics and the dark ages. Yeah, that was a good video, man. Just a flu period. They never guessed the strand right, and it could get crazy. Yeah, it could. Ebola and Zika are still moving around. I think. Just catching up on the chat here. And more bird flu cross over to humans this year than any other. That's kind of scary. Genetically engineered food. Yep, that's scary too. And Oily Prepper, actually, the reason that I first started watching Oily Prepper is, or Oily's Humble Home. I still can't get used to that. Excuse me. But I was looking for alternatives to my chronic pain problem, and so I need to do a video. My wife is a Young Living representative. She sells Young Living essential oils. So I need to do a video on like the top 10 essential oils preppers should have on hand. I think that's very important because there's a lot of stuff you can use to reduce your pain, reduce inflammation, things that will help you fight off the cold, common cold, things like that. What's that called? Thieves oil, I think it is. So there's a way. I make my own camping soap too, which is a blend of a bunch of different essential oils, and then you use animal fat, lard basically, and then what is the name of that stuff? some dry chemical. You mix it with water. You got to be very careful with it. It's the stuff that, if you ever saw Fight Club, it's the stuff he poured on his own hand. If you haven't seen Fight Club, or if you have seen Fight Club, you'll understand what I'm talking about. He poured this stuff on his hand and it burned his skin like hell. Made a big blister. Poured vinegar on it, went away. Anyhow, that stuff. Can't remember the name of it right now. Sodium something or other. But you can make your own soaps with essential oils, your own lotions. A bunch of different kinds of tinctures, and there's a ton of stuff you can do with essential oils. I think preppers should have those on hand. So that's a video idea that I've been working on, is top 10 essential oils. Lye, there you go, lye. Yeah, I was trying to think of the actual chemical name of it, but yeah, it's just lye. So yeah, lye plus fat equals soap. Yes, and that's another thing, bartering. If you can make your own soap, you can barter with it. So instead of bartering off your bullets or, anything else, soap. People are going to need to be able to keep clean. Olive oil, coconut oil are good for making soap. Yes, they are. I actually use, let's see, there's Castile soap, and then there's another kind. You can use sodium hydroxide. There you go. Thanks, man. What do you use for severe pain? Vicodin. Right now, actually, I don't have any severe pain anymore. I've kind of gotten it under control with CBD oil. It has helped me a ton. So, I don't know if I should talk about that on YouTube or not. It is legal here in Iowa now. It's made from hemp. So, but that has taken my chronic pain down tremendous. The inflammation is next to nothing anymore, not compared to what it used to be anyway. I used to have days where it took me 3 hours just for my prescription pills to kick in to where I could come out and actually start working. So, on them really harsh, bad weather days, it would do that. So, but now it's not, it's hardly affecting me at all. Eucalyptus oil, that is good stuff. Eucalyptus oil is good for so many things. That's one of the things I put in my camp soap, because ticks and, let's see, what is it? Ticks, fleas, and mosquitoes, none of them like eucalyptus or peppermint. So that's one thing that I put in this camping soap. I actually could start producing this soap and call it like bug out soap or the bug out bar or something like that. So that's actually not a bad idea at all. But so I could sell soap. But anyhow, CBD, yes, it's a wonderful thing. In fact, they make CBD oil that you can vape. And since I'm a cancer survivor and chemotherapy, radiation, when I had the radiation therapy, they focused it mostly on my chest and on this side of my neck where this big scar is. But just kind of burnt the hair off the side of my face. And anyhow, but it was focused a lot on my chest. So if I could vape CBD oil, I think that would help me out a bunch. I'd hopefully get some of my lung capacity back, maybe. I need to get out and work my lungs and get some of my lung capacity back. But that's CBD would be a great barter. Yes, it would. Great barter item. That's a great idea. Melaleuca oil. Yep, that stuff goes a long ways for a lot of different stuff. What else do we have here? Hey, we got 29, 30 people on here, somewhere in there. Smirnoff Blue Label. I don't drink anymore, but having alcohol on hand is not a bad idea. Especially like, really strong stuff that you can use to make other things. Like, what's that stuff called? It's pure alcohol. Or damn near, it's, what the hell is it called? I cannot think of it tonight. I cannot think of anything tonight for some reason. Yep, can't think of it. Clove oil and oregano is good. Yeah, yes. Melaleuca oil. Tea tree oil, yes. Turmeric, black pepper. Turmeric is awesome. That stuff, Everclear, yep. Wow. How could I not think of that? But yeah, there are a lot of really great things, spices that preppers should keep on hand. That would be another great top 10 video. Moonshine, yeah. No, I was trying to think of Everclear, guys. So, but yeah, it's basically pure grain alcohol. So you can use it to make other things. Plus, it'd be a hell of a fire starter if you ever had to use it. You can make one hell of a Molotov cocktail with that, huh? Corn liquor. Well, that'd be pretty stout too. They can make over 1,000 cigarettes for prep barter. Smokers will give their left nut for a smoke. I know. I know. That's something I was talking about at the beginning of this live stream. Is if you guys, any of you new guys coming in, make sure you check out the description box, because I have started a third channel where I'll probably do like one video a week, but it's just to help people quit smoking and switch over to vaping. So it's CP Vapes is the name of the channel. So please go check that out if you're into vaping, or if you're thinking about, if you smoke, want to quit. Maybe I might have some tips, ideas, advice that could help you out. So I'm just mainly doing that just to help people, because I think it's very important for preppers to get off of their addictions. And but yeah, speaking of addictions, alcohol is a big addiction problem for a lot of people. I was one of them people that I either had to just not drink at all, or I drank. When I did drink, I drank too much. So lungs won't let me vape. That's the problem I had too. The problem that I always came across was I was using the wrong stuff, and I coughed and coughed and coughed all the time, every time I tried it. So I have some ideas that might help you out, man. Hit me up. Subscribe to that channel if you want to, and send me a message. Undiluted shine is a little stronger than Everclear. Oh, I'm sure it is, Bobby. Speaking of vaping, Des Moines Bus Route, I frequently see a vape shop. I just found out there's one about 30 miles from where I live, so that's awesome. 3 to 5 gallon one. WMD. Oh. So anyhow, anybody else have another realistic shit hit the fan scenario that you'd like to discuss? I haven't even gotten a thumbs down yet, but if you guys are just coming in, please give the video a thumbs up. You can use your still to make essential oils from herbs and plants as well. That is a great point. That would be awesome. Water takes a long time to distill. Yes, it does, but that is the only sure way to make any water safe to drink. I mean, you can distill salt water and make it safe to drink. So that's the only sure way to make any water safe to drink. But economic collapse, I do think, yeah, we've talked about that a little bit. I do think that is the most realistic and the most probable shit hit the fan scenario that this country is going to face. And I mean, it all kind of depends on, the establishment people do not like our president. They didn't like a lot of them didn't like the last president either, but he was actually a very establishment kind of guy. And that's why I didn't really care for him, because he didn't do what the people actually wanted. So, but Trump isn't really doing what the people want either. I mean, I don't know any people that want big corporations to be able to pollute their water. So, yeah, I don't know. But I will say this. finally, the people in Flint, Michigan are going to get some new goddamn water pipes. So there's something, and it's federally, the federal government sent them some money. So there's something that's going right. So that's something that Obama couldn't get done in 8 years, and Trump got done in the first 100 days. So there you go. I'm not a big fan of Trump, but I'm not a fan of government in general or any politician in general. So there you go. I talked about major natural disasters like supervolcano, flood, or drought like the 30s Dust Bowl. Well, California wasn't far away from being in a super drought. I mean, they almost ran out of water. I mean, their water table is so low that I think they said it's going to take about a decade of regular, normal seasons for it to completely replenish. So that's about as close as you can get with the Dust Bowl, compared to the Dust Bowl anyway in the 30s. Super volcano, Yellowstone super volcano. Some people don't know about this. Up in Yellowstone, the national park, there is a super volcano, underground volcano. Last time it erupted, it basically covered, what was it, about 500 miles in ash. It was reported 500 miles out. So something like that. That's been a long time ago. From an oil refinery and 12 miles from a military base. I was thinking this is a bad place to live, as the wind would or could blow right over me if there was a nuclear strike. I honestly think if there's ever a nuclear strike, well, for one, we have an excellent missile defense system in this country. But if it got past that, but that's what worries me is it wouldn't just wipe us out. It would set off an EMP, and then instead of just being blown up and die, there'd be thousands, if not millions, of people killing each other for food and water. So an EMP is actually scarier than just a nuclear bomb in some ways. So I don't argue with you, Team AG Survival, on that one. Bombing Syria, I thought, was a bad idea, but martial law or civil war. I don't think there'll ever be a civil war because there's just people are too what's the word I'm looking for? They're too passive. They just let everything go nowadays. You can't really protest anything anymore because you get thrown in jail or you get sprayed with mace by a cop that's holding a freaking can of pepper spray the size of a fire hydrant or a fire extinguisher, and close to the size of a fire hydrant. But anyway, there's major repercussions for protesting nowadays. So free speech is gone. It's just an illusion. We have the illusion of rights in this country. We don't actually have any rights because they can take them all away. So, especially with the, what was it? Was it in the Patriot Act that they can basically consider anybody an enemy of the state and lock them up in Guantanamo? So, yeah, there's no rights left anymore. Where you get put on a terrorist watch list, exactly. Estimated 90 fatality with it, yeah. 90% fatality through an EMP. I mean, that's just as bad as the nuclear blast would be. If it's a 90% fatality rate for an EMP, that's just as bad as nuclear. So, but except we're killing each other instead of the bomb just taking it out. Me being Muslim, I bet I'm one of. I don't give a shit what. I mean, is it? Do you take that religion so seriously that you know, people don't take religion as seriously as they think they do. Um, I mean, when's the last time somebody stoned their neighbor for mowing the yard on Sunday? Nobody does that. So, when's the last time, Kaylin, if you're a Muslim, when's the last time you cut off a homosexual's head? You know? So, it depends on how seriously you take the religion, whether I have a problem with you or not. So I'm not a religious person because I think it's mind control. It's just a way to control people. I do believe in things. I do have faith in certain things, but I don't like to talk about it, and it's nobody's business but mine. So ready next to you. I don't know what that means. They still haven't helped everyone in Louisiana. No, I'm not worried. I'm a two-time combat Marine living in eastern Kentucky in the hills with lots of food and water. WMD, you're covered, brother. Sounds like you're doing all right. I think Americans are simply eating themselves to death. Every time I go into Walmart, it looks like a herd of cattle down at the cattle auction. Yeah, and they're just as mindless. They're like drones nowadays. They're like robots. They go where they told, they do what they're told, and they eat whatever the hell is thrown in front of them. I'm a big guy, but not because of what I eat. Um, I eat pretty healthy. So, it's garden, mostly out of the garden. So, my biggest problem is inactivity from pain, but it's getting better all the time. And also, the stress of work and things like that. So, but it's getting better all the time, and you know, I'll get the weight back off. But let's see, I missed quite a bit of stuff here. Yellowstone has what they call a supervolcano. It erupts every few 100,000 years. It's 40,000 years past due. I heard Russia talked about dropping a nuke into it. It wouldn't take a nuke, man. It would, any type of, you know, any size of bomb, really. If you set that right down um, to Yellowstone and caused, all them tectonic plates to shift and stuff, that thing would go off, I'm pretty sure. Why EMP? Government could just turn the damn power off across the country and let us kill ourselves. I'm not, Rob, I'm not talking about our country or our government doing that to us. That doesn't make sense. They like the power that they have. They like the control over us that they have. And they definitely like all the money that they have because of all the rest of us that work and provide it for them. So there's no reason why our own government would set off an EMP and get us killing each other. That doesn't make any sense. That's also why martial law doesn't make any sense for our government to do it to us unless, I don't know, is under the guise of protecting us or something like that. But I don't know. That's a big subject. But no, I don't think the government would ever cause or do anything to cause them to lose control over us and to have some type of nationwide catastrophe would cause them to lose control over us. Right now, they've got people walking in line like sheep, doing what they're told, and that sort of thing. So they're completely brainwashed by media. They're just one of those kind of things. So I don't think our government would ever do that. They like the power too much. They like the money too much. Favor of big corporate dark money messing in the political process. Of course they did. I did not get much sleep last night. If you Google Russia threatened to nuke Yellowstone in March 2015. You can see the story. Well, that's over 2 years ago. Oh, thank you, Oily. I actually already have. I have pan away or pain away. I don't know what it's supposed to be called, but we have dozens of bottles of essential oils. So, yeah. But hey, maybe you have a mixture that we haven't thought of that would help me out a little bit. So, yeah, I'll get in touch with you after this live stream. Nationwide is on your side. WMD, I'll have to check out your channel, man. Russia, Russia, Russia. Say it like Marsha. Marsha. Well, that's all. What's her name? Rachel Maddow? Is that her name? That's all she talks about. I've seen a couple videos about that. It's all she talks about, and people think she's gone off the deep end. How about UN troops just enforcing law here in America if shit hits the fan? There's not enough of them, man. If all the UN troops came here, they're not enough to enforce. Not really. Maybe they could handle the bigger cities, the major cities, but they would not be able to do the entire country. But they would need help from our military as well, because our military is most of the UN anyway. So, does anyone plan to bug out, or are you all going to bug in? I guess it depends on the event. Absolutely. I have absolutely no plans, no intentions, I should say, of bugging out. I will stay put as long as I absolutely can. So, bugging out is an absolute last resort. But you do need to have a plan, and you do need to execute that plan and practice it, train for it, which, I'm out of shape, so that's part of it. Throw that bug out bag on your back and go hike. Something I got to get back to doing this summer, so I'm gonna do what I can till Jesus calls me home. North Korea threatened Australia today with a nuclear strike for their allegiance to us. Oh, how about we just bring all the Aussies over here to America, and then just bomb? Well, I guess South Korea, they're our allies too, so get them into China so that they're safe, and then just bomb the shit out of North Korea. How about we just do that? I'll probably get banned for saying that. My channel will probably get taken down for saying that. Thyme essential oil? No, I haven't tried that. I will give that a try. I don't make video. Oh. Has a warming sensation that helps soothe pain. I will give that a try. Thyme, huh? North Korea is out of control. Yeah, absolutely. Watching a documentary on North Korea right now, the propaganda machine. Pretty interesting. I'll have to look into that one. Have you guys ever seen, I think it's called Blackout. It was a National Geographic movie, or like a short TV movie, I'm pretty sure it was called American Blackout or something like that. You guys need to check that out. Watch that all the way through because it's very realistic. And clove oil is awesome for tooth pain. Yep, we have some of that too. 1 hour ago, they're going to leave from home. Aroma, is great for pain topically as well. Oils, I don't know how to PM from here, but I'll go to your pages. So okay. Just airdrop Hot Pockets and peanut butter cups to King Jong. He will just eat himself to death. He's kind of a fat little toad, huh? North Vienna. Can't we SEAL Team 6, the Korean feller? Yeah. They need to, And well, they have. Why don't they just drone? Drop or shoot him with a drone or something. Just send a bunch of remote control pilots, get them headed over there, and swarm them so that they can't shoot them all down. And one of them's got to get him, right? So just bomb the shit out of them with little drones. Lavender, yeah, I use lavender all the time. There's one. What is it called? I also have Deep Relief. That's a good one too, from Young Living. Deep Relief essential oil. But oh, okay. Raspberry plants reproduce quickly. A good plant to have. China and Russia have moved troops near North Korean border. Youch. That's a little worrisome. Raspberry plants, yes, they reproduce, but they don't produce a lot of fruit at a time. Well, you'd have to have a bunch of them. But one, and this I learned this one from American Homestead, good channel. The Jerusalem artichoke or sunchoke is a very invasive plant, and it has a tuber kind of like, or like a root, kind of like a potato. So, and I guess that is technically a tuber. So anyhow, it's very starchy. It has the same consistency as a potato. Tastes a little bit different, but it's a very invasive plant. So if you plant it and let it'll replant itself basically, kind of like strawberries do. So that would be a good plant for preppers. Really, I'm really thinking about building a raised bed, probably over by our strawberry bed, and planting some of those just to see just how fast they spread, because I'm curious. So that is something that if you want a food that will reproduce, basically no matter what. I mean, they're very invasive. They're even hard to kill. They're hard to get rid of if you want to get rid of them. So, but it's a constantly replenishing food supply. Road less travel, a good find for remember. See if you let you keep supplies there. You never know. Russia and China and United States should just kick Korea's ass. That would be nice, but China won't help us or fight us if we attack North Korea. Jeff, I'm pretty sure that they would stick with us because we have a much bigger economy and we do a lot of trading with China. So I'm pretty sure they'd stick with us. But you never know. They want to be the big power of the world. And so it's kind of like a power struggle between us, China, and Russia. So it's hard to say. They might team up with Russia and try to take us out. You just never know. So it's hard to say what could happen. But no, I'm pretty sure if they want to keep things civil, I'm pretty sure China would side with us. So, or container grow the Jerusalem artichokes. I don't know how they would do in a container, but it'd be worth trying. But the whole idea behind the Jerusalem artichokes is they reproduce, they replant themselves. So then you don't have to do all the work to produce more food. It reproduces on its own. So it is constantly replanting and reproducing and making more food for you. So to keep it in a container would be, counterintuitive, I guess. It'd kind of be going against what you actually want. So any of you guys that are new in here, if you don't know, the super chats are basically what's keeping these channels alive, channels like mine alive nowadays. So the super chat is that little $ icon underneath the chat bar, or on mobile, I think it's right next to your icon. So if any of you guys could help me out with a super chat and help me keep this channel going, I would really, really appreciate it. It's all about the money. We buy a lot from China. WMD, you're right on the money there, brother. It's all about the Benjamins. It's all about them dollars. And if you really think about it, what are the last few countries that don't use don't have a central bank and do not recognize the petrodollar, which is the U.S. dollar. That is Syria. Well, I'm pretty sure Afghanistan and Iraq was one of them at one time. That's part of why we're in war all the time, is to keep the petrodollar going. Finger Lakes Prepper, how's it going? Almost everything is made in China. You're absolutely right. Excuse me here, guys, for just a second. So, so I think they would want to. Yeah, I would think that they would be on our side. I really do. I think China doesn't want to deal with South Korean refugees. That is very true, Smoking Ape. So, Russia and China is moving away from the petrodollars to gold. That would be a big problem, and that would make us, it's all about money. So that's why we're in all the wars that we're in all the frickin' time. So, if it's all about the money and they stop recognizing or using the U.S. dollar as currency to trade, especially for oil, then yeah, we're probably going to go to war with them, and that we'll probably have another world war. Does anyone else stack a little gold and silver? I keep a little of both. I have a little bit of silver, but not a whole lot. I really don't think that precious metals will be worth that much money. Carlos, thank you very much. You wouldn't believe how much how fast them super chats add up. I've made more. It has basically done what the ad revenue has never done before. And I appreciate it so much more because I know that you guys appreciate what I'm doing here. So, Team AG, almost everything is made in China, but they're paying the price with the pollution that level of manufacturing produces. They say China are long-term thinkers, but they aren't going to last at this level. You're absolutely right. That's another thing that drives me absolutely nuts is, everybody talks about the economy, talks about big business, talks about jobs and things like that, but we only have one planet to live on here. I know all these big thinkers are talking about going to Mars, but there's no water or oxygen there, guys. So we kind of have to take care of this rock that we're on right now. So I think we need to start holding our government officials, start holding their feet to the fire about the environment. What is today, Earth Day? I think it is. So, it's kind of been on my mind that we don't take care of this planet worth a damn. Especially like, Team AG Survival was just talking there. China is the worst polluter in the world as far as I can tell. I mean, people have to walk around with masks on their face because they can't breathe because all the smog. Kind of how LA used to be, back in the 80s. So, if any of you guys don't remember this, Los Angeles back in the 80s was like... the only way the skies were clear is if it was really windy, and it blew all the smog past the mountains. So I don't know. I find it important. Take care of the earth that we're on. You know what I mean? I support Israel. They're surrounded by enemies on all fronts and need all the help they can get. I don't really know a whole lot about Israel. I know the main reason that we support them so much, but I don't know. I just, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. You couldn't go out without wearing a mask, exactly. The company I work for has factories over in China, and there are urban areas complete with homes abandoned due to ground contamination. Wow. That is bad. Yeah, so it is Happy Earth Day, everybody. China has a water problem. We're going to have a water problem. You know, Detroit has, or well, not Detroit, but very close to Detroit, had a water problem, major water problem. They still have a water problem, but it's getting fixed. But you know, all the fracking stuff going on does poison the water. You know, I don't care what any politician that's getting paid, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to say so. It does do harm to the earth. It does do harm to our water. And so, you know, I don't know. Water wars in the future? Probably. We luckily have a natural spring about 50 yards from where we live. So I can go fill up water out of a bucket and dump it into our gravity flow aqua rain filter, and we'll be just fine as long as that spring keeps running. It runs in the wintertime even. So I have checked on that. I checked on it last winter. So just a few months ago. But Kaylin, Des Moines has to run a super expensive nitrate removal system in order to make our water drinkable. Yuck. This kind of sounds like they're putting more crap back in, you know, and that's what doesn't make any sense is water should not be dangerous to drink. You know, look at all the crap that they have to do to try to clean our water, you know, all the chemicals and stuff that they put in, it's not safe, it's not healthy. That's why I run all of our water through a filter. You know, I will not drink it. I don't even like to bathe in it, to be honest. But, you know, I don't really have a choice there. I can't, you know, how many water filters I'd have to fill up our bathtub. But anyway, Oklahoma. We felt the an earthquake that came out of Oklahoma here in Iowa for the first time ever, I think, that Iowa ever experienced an earthquake that I know of. Up 3,000% since fracking started, but nothing to see here. Move along. Yeah, absolutely. You know, they don't care. They don't care what it does to the people or the planet or anything else. I mean, do they ever even think about their own family, their own kids, grandkids, great grandkids? You know, do they ever think about those kind of things while they're destroying the planet that we're living on? You know, what's it going to leave for them? So that drives me nuts. It just I I like Mother Nature, you know. It's our Mother Nature, you know. So kind of got to take care of her. It's the only one we got. Yeah, I live about 60 miles southwest of Des Moines, Kalen. So they filled it in a town 30 miles northwest of us, and yeah, not very far from us. Started fracking in Washington, D.C., then they'll change their mind. Yep, that's what it would take, too. Oil keeps an engine running. I wonder what it does for our planet's machine. That makes me wonder. You know, they keep pulling all this oil out of the ground, but that cavity that gets emptied out when they extract all the oil out of it, something has to fill back in there eventually. You know, it's going to cause. I mean, there's already been huge sinkholes all over the place, all over the world, huge sinkholes. But I mean, is us pulling all these natural resources out of the ground? Is that what's causing those? I wonder. You know, need to get a ton of coal just in case. Money more important than clean water. Well, they sure think so. I don't. You know, you can't live on money. You know, not you know once it gets to the point where money is not worth anything. You know, if they completely destroy the planet, money won't be worth anything because food and water it'll be worth more because there's less of it. So same with natural gas, the ground will drop. Yep. Then take the natural gas out and start fracking. They must really have homes ready on Mars for themselves. No, but they do have underground bunkers for when we finally get fed up with their crap and start going after them. Which I wish people would just, if it started happening, I'd join in just right off the bat. I don't have a big enough voice to get enough of a following of enough people to follow me and get it started. But I would go after the politicians. Honestly, what I think needs to happen is the next time there's a major economic collapse and we figure out which banks, which Wall Street, hedge fund managers or whatever you want to call them, whatever Wall Street bankers and all them assholes that like to tank our economy, all the big corporations that like to pollute and poison our planet, we need to hunt them down and string them up in the middle of Times Square, and then the rest of them would take notice and knock the shit off. If we just start taking them out left and right, they're going to get scared and they're going to run and they're going to quit doing the stuff that they're doing. That's the only way it's going to stop. It's the only way it's going to stop. You can't protest anymore. You have to register to protest, and then they come spray you in the face with pepper spray and throw your ass in jail. So protesting doesn't do any good. It's not going to change anything. We got to start killing these about said it. Not going to say it. Not going to swear that bad on this channel. But legislation, how do you get that legislation when all the politicians are bought and paid for, About starting a militia, yeah. Abandoned missile silos are being snatched up by the rich and turned into their shit-to-fan new homes. Yes, it is. There's tons of them. How many people in here have the ability to live off the land and process game? I do. The only thing that I don't have is I don't have the ability to refrigerate everything, but I do have a smoker. I can smoke that meat. I can preserve it. We have enough land here where we live here at the house that we could plant enough garden to live off of for the entire year and not have to supplement any food from a grocery store or supermarket, whatever you want to call it. My wife knows how to make homemade noodles and stuff like that. We do have, I need to get a better one, but we do have a grain mill so that you can turn wheat berries into flour or corn into corn flour, those sort of things. So that's another thing. We need to learn from the old ways in order to survive if there was ever a major catastrophe that took this country back 100 years. You need to learn how to make flour out of grain and be able to use that stuff, be able to ferment your own stuff to make breads and yeast, that kind of stuff. So lucky to have a spouse who preps with you. She just finally started getting on board here in the last year. So, but she likes to cook is the main thing. So she learned how to make her own homemade egg noodles and make, she can make her own pie crusts and stuff like that. Just she likes to bake. So she's been very good at that. She's been very good at doing things the old-fashioned way because it tastes better, Lard tastes better than Crisco. Even though it's, it's actually technically not fattening. It won't make you fat because you have to eat something else. You have to eat sugar in order to store fat, One of those kind of things. Need a corn grinder to make shine. I mean, like a sheller or an actual like a mill. I've never. I don't know how you make. I've never looked into how to make moonshine, but that would be an interesting thing to learn. Kaylin, get out of Des Moines. Live in an apartment, so I don't have any personal growing space. That's a problem, you know. Point A to point Z, to have someone you love share a common interest is priceless. Yes, it is. Me and my wife actually butted heads on prepping for many years. And it was mostly because she thought I was wasting money that could go towards other things. So that's part of the reason why I started this channel, is so that I could use that money to buy preps. And I still continue to do that. I try to put as much money back into the channel as I possibly can. But I mean, that was the main reason why I started this channel, was to be able to buy preps. So, but now with the fact that there is basically next to no, uh, my husband has the same frame of mind. That's cool. That's very cool. But anyhow, now that ad revenue is next to nothing, that's why I'm doing these live streams. And so, super chats, if you guys can afford to do it, a couple bucks here and there makes a hell of a difference. Craig, how's it going, man? I make my own vodka from potatoes. It's also a great antiseptic. That's a great idea. I wonder if you can do that with Jerusalem artichokes. I do like to repurpose items when I can. That's a good prep strategy. Yes, it is. And especially, when you're. One thing that I have started doing that I never used to is I've started taking a different approach to storing food. And instead of buying a lot of canned food, dried goods, things like that, I'm getting more into the um, because buying canned food constantly gets kind of old, and you have to cycle it constantly so that it's not way over expired by the time something happens. So I have started to take a long-term buy it and forget it approach. Buy stuff that is 20, 25 years, um, good for 20 to 25 years. Uh, a lot of stuff from there's several different names. Valley's Food Storage, Emergency Essentials, Augustin Farms, of course, Mountain House. What are some of the other ones? I ordered some stuff from the LDS Cannery. You can get that stuff online and have it shipped to you. Latter-day Saints Church but LDS Cannery, if you just Google that, you'll find it. But that is a good way to get like your just basic dry goods, like your sugar, salt, flour, things like that. That's the main things that I got from them. So, long-term investment, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And it'll pay off in the long run if you ever need it. And even if you don't, you can still take it out and, take a can of Mountain House camping with you. If, 20 years down the road, nothing happens, then you go ahead and cycle it and replace it. Go camping, make a big batch of beef stroganoff or what. I actually don't like that one. The spaghetti and meatballs or the beef's disappointing because I would buy it. But yeah, Great Lakes Prepper, that is you're spot on there. Honey lasts forever, and it is the healthiest. Something that lasts for 25 years. Sickly do is a friend just lost a beehive. That sucks. Anyhow, what we do is like let's say for brand, and get the dried flakes, Mountain House over top of it. That way it goes a lot further. And yeah, it's looking like I'm going to have to refresh too. It's buffering. Yeah, I'm noticing. Mormons, yeah, they're the original preppers, that's for sure. Yeah, it's buffering on me too, guys. I might have to call it a night. It's been almost 2 hours. Hey, there it came back. Jeff. But before I go, we'll give it about another 20 minutes and just kind of. Carlos, yeah, I'm back. I'm back. It had to buffer for some reason. Hopefully my family knows well enough to stay off of Netflix and stuff like that while I'm doing this. But you never know. It is that time of day where I have to go get the kids put to bed. We usually sit down and watch a TV show and get the kids all nice and sleepy, and then send them off to bed by usually about 20 minutes from now. So I should probably get off here pretty soon. So once again, if any of you guys are into vaping, I started another channel called CP Vapes. The link is in the description box of this video, and just basically doing that to help people quit smoking. So last time I'm going to mention that, but just trying to get some people over there before I put my first few videos up. So I am starting to hold a few of my pills. Yeah, Kaylin, that's another thing that a lot of people don't think of is if they're on any prescription meds. I've actually gotten to the point where I very, very rarely use my prescriptions. I still refill them on time when I'm supposed to, so that way I have a little extra. But that was part of my strategy for, um, I have them just in case, and there are some days where I do need them, but I am trying to do everything I can diet, exercise wise to reduce the inflammation and reduce my chronic pain. I do have some problems with chronic fatigue, so I'm taking a lot of B vitamins and chromium and just a lot of different things that kind of help boost your metabolism, really get you going. I started getting up first thing in the morning. I'll do some exercise just to get my heart pumping, get that blood flowing, get yourself woke up good. So, Jeff, okay, CP, here's a serious observation on my part, and I must make a comment. Your knife supply hanging behind you is seriously adequate. I highly recommend you buy more. Jeff, if you didn't know, I am a kydex sheath maker by trade. That's what I do for a living. So that's why I have so many knives, guys. As for the axes, I'm just an axe nut. I don't actually make any sheaths with those. But yeah, I got a hell of a knife collection. Is vaping a viable alternative to dipping tobacco? I would think it is safer. I have never heard of anybody getting cancer from vapor. So I would think so. I know, dipping. They put me on vitamin D 10,000 dose pill each week because I'm that way. I take 50,000 units of vitamin D twice a week, man. And that's because I have peripheral neuropathy, and vitamin D is part of that, but my body will not store vitamin D anymore. So I am on a very, very high dose of, but yeah, so it's actually 10 or that'd be 100,000 units a week of vitamin D because my body just will not. Oh, Carlos, yeah, absolutely. Point A to point Z about the vape pens exploding. That was people using mechanical mods that they built themselves, and they were using unprotected, just they were using batteries that didn't have the protections in them. Also, people were carrying them around in their pockets, and they would arc out on their keys and explode. So there's a reason behind it. It's the person's stupidity why they were exploding. It was not because of vaping. This thing that I use is safe, you know. Buy something that's regulated. Buy something that has the circuit protections and overvoltage protections. All the same protections that your good flashlights have, you know. So, you know, they're not going to explode in your hand either. So, you know, there's protections to keep them from doing that in all of the regular vaping devices that you use. So, aftermarket mods, that's what was causing it. Fake batteries, that's another problem. They were using cheap batteries. They were using crap batteries. A lot of them were those green cells that are, I think they're a Panasonic. Correct me if I'm wrong, Smoking Ape. You're the battery man. You know them better than I do. But they were knockoffs. They had to have been. Because they didn't, you know, they were the brand that should have had those protections in them and don't. So, yeah, I don't want cancer again. So that's, yeah, not like the Galaxy Note 7s. Now those were pocket bombs. Yeah. Yeah, I had 2 Note 7s, and then they told me I had to bring that one back, and had to get a Galaxy S7 Edge. Hey, Team AG, thanks. Thanks for stopping by. Panasonics are the most faked battery, and I'm pretty sure those were it. That's the green ones, right? So anybody that is either coming in late or new to the stream or whatever, Oily's Humble Home, aka the Oily Prepper, she's there in the news or in the chat feed. She is having a what she called a prepper powwow live stream. What'd you say, Thursday at 8? So go subscribe to her channel. Make sure you click on that bell so that you get notifications for when she goes live. Heck, a lot of Samsung things blow up. Didn't the washing machine pop sometime back? I didn't hear about that one. In front of... Oh. I buy the Ego pens for 15 bucks each. Some batteries last, some don't. I have the... well, it's something I need to talk about on my other... my new channel, CP Vapes. But I have what, 4 different vaping devices. They're all kind of a different level because I went from the type of like a pen that was 1.5 ohms that was really hard to draw on, so it was like smoking a Marlboro 100, full flavor Marlboro 100. It was too hard to draw on, and it gave me a sore throat. So then I stepped it down to one that had, what was a 1.1 ohm, and that one was better. And then I decided to get a sub-ohm device, and that one was 0.6 ohms. That one is the one that finally got me converted over, and that is called, it's a, what is it? It's a Joytech Ego, something like that. Joytech Ego all-in-one. That's the one that I use. But I also have, the knee box from Kangertech, which you have to get an extra O-ring. Go to your local vape shop. They should have the extra O-rings. Vape butts. Okay. Some would disagree, but marijuana, I wouldn't disagree. It's the most medicinal plant on earth. In fact, you can vape CBD oil, which is actually a derivative of hemp, but you can also get it out of marijuana. But anyway, they get it from hemp legally nowadays, and you can vape that. and I'm really thinking about giving that a try. I already use CBD oil for my chronic pain and stuff like that, and that helps a lot. So, thinking I'm going to try out the vape. 0.16 ohm quad coil and a smoke TFV4 at 75 watts. Smoking 8, brother, I just got the Smoke Stick V8. That thing is badass, brother. That took me a while. The first couple of much for me. So that one has a 2017. It's going on right on up in Utah right now. The Target 75 VCT. It's like an air pistol handle. So I set 2 fixes at once. That's awesome. So yeah, guys, go over and sub my CP Vapes channel, and I'll have some videos coming up next week. I'm gonna edit all those and start uploading after I get those teeth pulled, so that I have something to do while I'm sitting around miserable on painkillers. So yeah, smoke makes great stuff. The tobacco companies will never allow weed to be legalized. You'd be surprised. Big tobacco companies can. I guess we'll call them a joint. It wouldn't be a joint anymore if you don't roll it yourself, would it? Something to think about. But basically a marijuana cigarette, because they'd probably still put a filter on it like they do a Marlboro Red, And then then the tobacco companies could sell the marijuana. They'd put them in a pack just like they do with a cigarette. So I don't know. There'd be a lot of money for them to make if they ever legalized it, and that would be a way for the government to regulate it and tax it and make an absolute shitload of money off of it. So I think it would be a wise decision for them to legalize it. They could sell them in the general store, sell them at the gas station. How fun would it be for... Oh, yeah. One of the friends uses marijuana to control her chronic pain. She is allergic to painkiller drugs, including opioids. I get a really bad rash if I'm on opioid derived painkillers for too long. So, like, when I was going through chemo, they kept switching me back and forth between Vicodin and Percocet because I was, if I was on one too long, I'd end up with a full body rash. So, and that's also why I don't like to be on pills anyway. Marijuana is already... Well, technically, every plant is genetically modified. Have you ever seen what a banana looked like 100 years ago before we started cultivating and breeding different strands? I mean, look at what wheat looked like. Look at what a tomato looked like. They're very different from what they looked like 100 years ago, even just 100 years ago. But look, if you could see what... Well, wild bananas are still grow the same way. So, Jeff, yeah, I probably would too. Yeah, I haven't touched the stuff for years. So, yeah, I'd probably eat everything in the house. I wouldn't have any food storage left. So, yep. Seems like would lose lots of money. Yeah, my pain and PTSD. Actually, WMD, now that you say something about it, I think, I realize it's different. I'm not trying to equate PTSD from war to PTSD from going through, tragic type of, cancer treatment, all that shit that I did. But there is a slight, I don't know if you call it slight, or I don't know how to word it without pissing somebody off or without offending someone or whatever you want to call it. But it is a form of PTSD to go through cancer treatment, and or just to get diagnosed with cancer would give, anyway. what I'm getting at is, yes, it does help. Excuse me, guys. I'm getting kind of plugged up here. So it's getting cold out. And I got my door open so I have a better signal. So anyhow, I think I'm going to have to cut it off, guys. Now the bells are ringing. So I need to go in and get my get the kids to bed. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of different things that can give you PTSD, but I don't want to equate that to what people put up with, what people go through with war. So, but anyhow, it's different. It's definitely different. But it's being under extreme stress for entirely too long, more than your mind can handle. And so I actually, it caused me to be an insomniac for a lot of years, and it also it still affects me from time to time. I just didn't want to sleep. I was scared to go to sleep because I didn't think I'd wake up, and so I was terrified of sleeping for a very long time because I thought I wouldn't wake up. In fact, I think I kept myself awake for so many days that I either died or I hallucinated that I died, and but I'm pretty sure I just blacked out. But that's how much the fear of dying can screw your mind up. And so, hey, Finger Lakes Prepper, I appreciate you guys stopping by. This is a lot of fun for me too, and I really, really enjoy it. Thank you, everybody that did the super chats. You wouldn't believe how much that helps this channel stay alive and make it so I can keep doing this stuff. So, really appreciate it. If nothing else, it'll help me pay the internet bill so I can keep doing these. So, one thing or another, it'll help. So, anyhow, thank you very much, guys, and I will have a couple more videos out, and I'll have one more live stream before I go get put under to have them teeth taken out, and hopefully I can have some made or some videos shot ahead of time so I can edit and upload while I'm sitting around all miserable and healing up. So anyhow, gotta go get the kids to bed, guys. This has been fun. This has been great. I really appreciate you guys coming, and so yeah, we're going to shut her down. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. See you next time.